just hours away from making landfall about 70 miles south of us. So right now, as of right now, that's what they're thinking, that we're going to be within the cone, but we're not going to be right at the eye. Somebody whose house is very close to the eye is my dad, Dr. Chip Abrahamson, who evacuated to stay with us. So he is in my studio as I do the outside field reporting. Back in my element, longtime reporter covering hurricanes in Florida. And I will say I criticize the media a lot, but I am grateful that I have friends out there right now that are trying to show people firsthand what's going on. And they work really hard. Some of these people work really, really hard. And I hope they're all safe this time. Sometimes I question the TV stations where they put people. But anyway, just say that. So we wanted to show you what was going on here. And if you're looking at the camera that my dad has, let's take a look at the camera. So this is our farm here, and that's our chicken coop. And we've tied down the chicken coop. But Dad, show us, explain the video that you're looking at right now.
There are 4 cities, west coast of Florida, Key West, Fort Myers Beach, Tampa Bay, which they go through Clearwater Beach and other places that I don't recognize. There's Clearwater Beach, the marina, and things are starting to gear up. The storm surge has not yet caused any problem. There's plenty of beach still exposed, but high tide is at midnight. So this storm is going to hit again, like the last one, almost at the exact time that would make for the largest storm surge. So that's one aspect. The second is the wind. This storm has high wind, and although Clearwater is not direct hit, Clearwater Beach is within the hurricane path. So very glad I evacuated, and very glad that I evacuated from my friend's house, although he was high and dry in the wind's path in Harbor Bluffs, Largo, Florida. And I decided this morning that I was either going to stay in a shelter, which is the local high school. So I went over there, and they said, well, there will be 10,000 people here in the high school, and you'll have enough space to lay down and put your sleeping bag down next to several other people, all crowded in one room. And Allison had invited me up to Crystal River, and I thought, this is a good time to go up there. So this morning I packed up. I left around 6 a.m., stopped by the Dancing Goat Dairy, picked up some goat's milk for the grandchildren, and here I am, high and dry. Well, it's raining, but at least not in the direct path of the hurricane as it hits land. Once it hits land, the winds will slow down. So even if it comes this way, it won't be as forceful as it is on Clearwater Beach.
One of the things we talked about yesterday was how much debris is still left in the area where Helene came through. And you showed there was just people gutted their homes, and there's chairs and tables and everything that people threw out for trash pickup. And all of that could become a projectile or get pushed away in storm surge. So who knows what's going to happen with all that? But that could end up becoming one of the major issues with that storm, is that people have not cleaned up yet from the last storm. The cities have not taken stuff to the landfills, and there's just a bunch of crap everywhere. And who knows with the winds and the surge, like what it's going to all look like and how those objects are going to affect everybody's homes.
No question that projectiles cause damage. In our 35 years on Clearwater Beach, we had one projectile go through a window, and it ruined the floor. A lot of water got in. We had evacuated at the time, but much more water gets in from a broken window more quickly than would get in otherwise. So it causes a lot of damage to have a broken window, and so much debris was left on Clearwater Beach. Last minute, as I was evacuating, the president of the Clearwater Beach Association had called Miller's Hauling, and they came in with a truck and a big trailer, and we got in his trailer all the projectile objects that we could find in the area of my house. which I am hoping will lead to less damage. But other people not as lucky. They'd already left. And this was the only guy that would come to Clearwater Beach. He said he had other friends that were contractors. He charged me a couple $100 to take all this stuff, which is cheap compared to a broken window and all the damage that occurs. So I was glad for it. But definitely the cleanup on Clearwater Beach was few and far between and is going to lead to a lot more potential damage than if the city or private contractors had cleaned up. Too many people are dependent on the government for help, and the government these days just hires private contractors. We need to go back to the old system where each individual or each neighborhood hired the contractors and brought them in to clean up the messes and not be dependent on the government or wait for the insurance companies.
All right. I hope you guys can still hear me because I'm getting signal breaking up for me, but I'm pretty sure I understood what you were saying. Okay. It's not because I've been drinking too much Allison wine promo. I can assure you of that. If you'd like to support this show, keep this show going. You're a wine drinker. You're not in the storm's path, so you can relax right now. Go to your internet that's working with the power that you still have and go sign up for the Allison Wine Club. You get 6 amazing bottles of wine from very remote regions of the world every 3 months. And we're all drinking the same wine at the same time. They all come with amazing stories from family farms, family vineyards, hand-picked grapes, generational farming techniques. And it's all clean wine. It doesn't have a bunch of chemicals added to it and dyes and fillers and stuff like that. AllisonWinePromo.com. Okay, one thing I wanted to say about evacuating is a lot of people have been texting me from out of state, are you going to heed the warning? Are you going to get out? Because they think we're all crazy that the whole state should get out. And we all have to kind of make choices. Dad obviously decided to evacuate. We are still at our house. Here's how we made the decision. Number one, we're not in an evacuation zone. Our town has not said that our area specifically needs to evacuate. Number two, we're not in a flood zone. That's partially why we're not in an evacuation zone. We went through Helene. We didn't have any flooding. And number three, we've got a ton of animals. If we had no animals, we didn't have goats, cows, a horse, 28 fowl, all these chickens and ducks, and, a dog, which is minimal compared to the 36 other animals we have, then it would be a little, easier. We'd go take a vacation in North Carolina or something like that. But everybody's going to weigh that out. What are we going to do with our animals? Just leave them for our neighbors to take care of. So because we don't feel like we're at particular risk here in our area, we're still, as the crow flies, with the way that it's projected to land, we're within the cone, but we're a good 60 to 70 miles from where it's probably going to make landfall. Now, this is a big storm, and it's moving fast, and it's got high winds. It's very powerful, so it's not going to be a pretty night. Our neighbors a mile from here have already lost power. And I don't know if you guys can tell. I mean, you just get wind gusts. It's not like a sustained wind of 150 miles an hour. It's like, I don't know, winds of 15, 20 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden something just blows through, and then you never know, is a tree going to come down? And that's why I didn't want to do this report a whole lot later in the day, because it's going to get more and more dangerous to be standing under a bunch of oak trees. So I guess any other closing thoughts, Dad, you'd like to impart for people who are just wondering, what it's like as you're looking at the cameras from where you just left, from where your house is? Are you concerned about what you're going to come home to? Anything to wrap up the show?
This looks like a half an hour before the storm surge just climbed all over Clearwater Beach in the last storm. All the waves are up. It doesn't look that bad, and we'll probably be okay. It doesn't look that bad right now, but this thing is coming in fast and furious, and it's very, very powerful. Anyone who is in the hurricane's path, you should be in a secure shelter. The Tampa mayor, I think, let people down by saying if you don't evacuate, you die. Some people just don't have the wherewithal to evacuate. That, you can go to a local high school and seek shelter there for 12 hours. They'll close the doors once the wind gets stronger. You probably have maybe an hour or two if you're in Pinellas County to get in one of those shelters. you'll be safe. And if the hurricane comes and destroys everything at high wind speeds, at least you'll be safe. So there are shelters available for last minute people. I encourage you, don't look at the cameras and think that this is going to be fine. It's nobody gets hurt. I hope nobody dies. And we'll see after the hurricane what the damage is, and we'll go from there. And hopefully we'll all be having a hurricane party on Clearwater Beach as we assess the damage. Everyone having made it through.
All right, don't forget to check out the pinned comments description for ways to support the show. We got all kinds of great products: cod liver butter oil blend, great for your tea, coffee, the wine, and I'll do some videos that are recorded and post them. If you haven't subscribed to the farm channel, Off Gridish Living, there's a link for that too. If you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere else, Off Gridish Living. That's where a lot of the farm updates about the hurricane and stuff will be posted. So make sure you're subscribed over there. If you're on Locals, AllisonMorrow.locals.com, you're on the editorial board. Great way to support. $5 a month to go one-on-one with my guests. You get to ask the questions yourself. And, that's it. I just want to say thank you to everybody who supports the work that I've gotten to do over the last few years. Being out in a safe moment of the storm. If I was still in TV news, I would be working my butt off right now. No sleep for days and stuck in some really dangerous situations. One time I was sent back to Florida for a hurricane, and the hurricane, it was Irma, I believe. It kind of petered out, but there was no gas to be found anywhere, and the producers were sending us all over the place looking for stories, and we were on empty. I finally said, I'm not moving this car until you guys find me a gas station. But that's what they did. Just go here, go there, stand by the storm surge. Jim Cantore, we heard, is in Tampa. We had Fox News Channel's war correspondent, Steve Harrigan, in our town for the last hurricane. And these people, whether you like them or don't like them, they are working hard right now. I have friends who don't know right now what's going to happen with their homes, but they're out reporting. And I think a lot of them, their hearts are in the right place. So I wish them well. I hope everybody stays safe. Thanks, everybody who supports this show. We'll see you guys next time. I'll keep updating you and let you know tomorrow. We'll do another live stream, let you know how everything went. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Wish us well.